Alright guys, hope you're doing well, hope you're all keeping safe. Apologies for again not uploading in about a week. There's very little Division 2 news or topics that I've not previously covered, so I don't want to make a habit of repeating myself. Plus, I was playing the Battlefield 2042 beta last week. What an utter travesty that was, on old gen especially. And I was also taking a much needed trip to A&E after watching the Recon Frontline game reveal. Again, I might talk about that. I might talk about both the beta for Battlefield 2042 and Frontline in a future video because they're worth talking about. Now, talking of Recon Frontline, it was revealed in the trailer that Ubisoft Bucharest, the same studio producing some of the new Division 2 content, they've been working on this new Ghost Recon game for the past couple of years. I believe it's about 3 years or so. And with that news in mind, obviously there were many concerns within the community over their involvement with the new content, or lack of involvement based on this news. Is the Division 2's new content in trouble? Drop a like and subscribe to stay up to date with all my videos, and let's talk about this. With the silence still persisting and Ubisoft seemingly unwavering in their decision to leave any details about the new content to the very last minute, which is exactly what they did with Warlords of New York, it's no doubt that many people are concerned about the quality and quantity of this new content coming, well, it's meant to be in December. Remember, this is scheduled for a release in December, and that's only about 7 weeks away at this point. Well, to add fuel to the fire, Ubisoft announced Ghost Recon Frontline recently, where they confirmed that Ubisoft Bucharest, the same studio working on the Division 2's new content, have been working on Frontline for about 3 years. And as I said, I do want to make a video about Frontline soon. If I had to put my thoughts into one sentence on this reveal, Frontline is everything that is wrong with Ubisoft. That's it. And again, I'll talk about that in a future video when I get back to this topic. Understandably, many community members were concerned about just how much involvement Bucharest have had in Frontline and how many of those resources were dedicated to that project. The more resources poured into Frontline, then surely the less resources available for the Division 2. And you can't really argue about that. When I saw the reveal last week, I shared the same concerns about the new content as everyone else, especially when you consider the lack of silence and general apathy within the wider gaming space about the Division 2. So, should we be concerned about the Division 2's new content? I'd say remain pessimistic to avoid disappointment, but the news of UB Bucharest working on Frontline hasn't made me any more concerned, and here's why. Having done a little bit of research, and what I mean by a little bit is really the bare minimum research, what I did was I went straight on over to the UB Bucharest job openings just to see what they're kind of involved in. And one thing became very clear very, very quickly. They are providing a lot of support on many of Ubisoft titles. There are job openings for Star Wars, there are job openings for Avatar, we know they're working on Frontline, and there are many other job openings, including projects that have not been announced yet, and that might be a Division 3, it might be, I don't know, another Ghost Recon game that's PvE instead of the PvP version we're getting with Frontline. I don't know. Like all of Ubisoft games and post-launch content, it's never just the one studio that works on it. With Ubisoft kind of divvying up the work to many supporting studios. For the Division 2, we know that UB Massive are kind of the main lead, but let's take PvP for example. This was handled by Redstorm. UB Massive, they don't do PvP content, which is why when Redstorm was moved on after the first year to work on the Division Heartlands, there has been no new content for PvP in the Division 2, and it's why I've said before we shouldn't expect any PvP content in this new content. We know they're going to be making changes to the overall game, which may affect the balance of PvP, but you're not going to be getting any new content. The raids were all outsourced to other studios to create as well, so from my understanding, UB Massive are primarily in charge of seasonal content and updates, which is why we know UB Bucharest have been brought in to create this new game mode for the new content release. And whilst I still have my concerns about the new content, the news of Ubisoft Bucharest being so involved in Ghost Recon Frontline doesn't have me any more concerned, because of the reason I've just said previously. We know they're involved in many projects, and that is very normal for any Ubisoft game. And of course, I'd rather see Bucharest only working on the Division 2 content with all of their resources. I'd love to see that, making all of this new content great for us, but that's not realistic, and that's just me being really selfish as well. So, aside from that, is there anything else that might be of concern? Aside from all of the silence, does that make sense? All of the silence? I think that's kind of an oxymoron, I'm not sure. I said this previously, but I just want to reiterate. I think the new content is on track. Recently there was a sticky bullet glitch where you could fire your weapon and it would fire your skill. I believe that's been fixed. I'm not totally sure if they've had the maintenance. It might be this week. Let me know in the comments down below. This is obviously one of many glitches that have come out recently, and not just recently, after the last couple of years, obviously. There's more out-of-bound glitches that are still present now in the live game, I believe, as well. So, if you go back to December of last year, and you go back just a month ago, there's about a 9-month difference between December of last year and about a month ago. And I want you guys to go in the comments below and tell me how many times in that 9-month period we had communication from the devs about glitches and bugs that were being looked into and that were going to be fixed. It's not many, if any, I don't think. It's only been in the last kind of month or two that the devs, especially Yannick, have been a lot more active in talking about these glitches and doing something to tackle them. The last 3 maintenances, I believe, have been there to actually fix some of the glitches that have been really the problem. They have the invisibility glitch in PvP. I believe there still might be an invisibility glitch as well. Obviously, we've had this new glitch with the sticky bullets as well, and I think that's going to be looked to be fixed. So overall, in the last kind of month or so, it looks as though the devs are back on track to trying to fix the game. Now, in that 9-month period, there's a reason why nothing was fixed, and that's because for those 9 months, everyone at Massive assigned to the Division 2 had been moved on to help create the new content. And there was no one left to fix glitches and bugs. Now, though, I believe that content is coming to its completion and devs have been reassigned to getting the game's health back on track. And we could have an argument in the comments down below about whether the game's health was really on track before. And I say argument, it wouldn't really be an argument. I'd probably agree that it wasn't. But you get what I'm saying. I am pessimistic about the content because I've been disappointed before, but I'm also not concerned that it's going to be delayed or contain absolutely nothing, which is something that I've seen people talk about. At the very least, I'm expecting more seasons. That's almost been confirmed, although not officially. Probably looking at about a year's worth of seasonal content, I believe. And we are at least getting one new game mode, which has been confirmed, that I hope is up to the standard of survival or resistance from the Division. All in all, I don't think this most recent news of Ubisoft Bucharest being involved with Ghost Recon Frontline has done anything to make me more concerned about the quality and quantity of the new content. I am concerned about the content due to the lack of silence, but you have to remember, this is what Ubisoft like to do. This is what they have done historically with this franchise and a lot of their other games as well. That doesn't mean nothing is coming, and quite often it's actually the opposite. Thanks very much for watching, and until the next one, Epic out.